Clutch Trucker filmed before a live and furry studio audience. Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning into another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Parked here at the Baker Truck Corral, Baker City, Oregon. I like stopping here because it's an independent. There's almost always spots. It's not real busy. And actually, I'm going to fuel here in the morning. That's another reason I stopped here, is because through the fuel network I get with my company, Turquoise Trucking, NASTC, which stands for National Association of Small Trucking Companies, get some really good discounts at a lot of the independents. Also good discounts at TA's Petros, and that's where I tend to fuel most of the time, so I can take advantage of their new points program. I've got videos on that, drivers, so you can learn all about that. So you don't have to pay for like reserved parking. I haven't paid for a reserved spot in over a year because I rack up my points and the Ultra credits. You can use the Ultra credits for that. But I fueled this morning at the new TA Express there in Biggs Junction, Biggs, Oregon, right across from the Pilot. It's just a tiny little thing, but it's brand new, and I got a real good discount there and racked up some points. I'm already at level 5 for next month, so I'm set there. But tomorrow morning I want to fuel here because I'll get the cheaper fuel before I go on into Idaho and Utah. Picked up this load today in Washougal, Washington, that delivers in Salt Lake City on Wednesday morning. Plenty of time to make it there. I picked it up this afternoon. It's 750 total miles, so I only had to make it this far today, and I'll only have about 7 hours to drive tomorrow. Not a bad deal. So I'll fuel up here, my whole point being, and get the good discount. On the sign, I think it says like $249 with the Oregon permit card. But I think about the NASTC, I can check on the app on my phone, which I really like, and get current real prices, and it's only $223, so I'm going to save quite a bit. Sometimes the discounts are a lot deeper too through this card. I know when I was up in Maybrook, New York, you look at the sign price and it'll knock you flat. It was $3 a gallon on the sign price. I paid $2.02. Just depends on where you are, and you can look it up in real time on that app. It's a beautiful thing, baby. Thank you. Just a quick update about Thanksgiving. For those of you who may be curious, I know some of you maybe don't give a rat's hiney about that, but yeah, I did make it through the house. Got to stay there for damn near 3 days, see the whole family, had a real Thanksgiving dinner. It was a beautiful thing. I got some leftovers in the fridge. Ooh, yeah, that's good stuff, baby. Even some cheesecake left over, so we're going to be diving into that tonight. So yeah, had a good time with the family and everything. A little rest there at the house. And then had Sapp Brothers do a whole bunch of work on my truck for me to get that all up to date. So now I'm good to go now for a few more weeks. Probably stay out other than, you know, maybe a quick little time here or there through the house if I get loads through there till Christmas and rack up some of the money. Speaking of the money, this one's a good example. This load I'm on, picked up in Washougal, Washington today, going to Salt Lake, about 750 miles after Turquoise takes their 15% off. It's still paying $2.60 a mile to me. That's the kind of loads Clutch Trucker likes. Got to show this real quick. Ordered myself a new loose log leaf holder from J.J. Keller. As a matter of fact, their name's on the back there. J.J. Keller and Associates. Warning, it'll give you cancer, according to California. California gives me cancer. Anyway, yeah, my other one was falling apart. So this one, in a nice book, holds my log sheets in there. I hold my little thing to do my logs with over here. Got all my permit information underneath that flap showing that yes, this is a 99 engine and I can run paper logs. My full health sheet kept underneath that flap, and then I got my log sheets right there. So got a brand new plastic thing. That other one was breaking. It was just falling apart all around. So new logbook holder, little present for me from me. And now the meat of this video. Got some cool dash cam today. After I picked up in Washougal, Washington, I went just straight east on Highway 14 in Washington State. Little tiny road, but it had some great views and everything, and then went over this really cool bridge called the Bridge of the Gods, and then went through a way station. So you got to see that. So for those of you non-truckers who have always been curious about what the way station's like, well, we have a good video example. Delivered this morning in Portland, Oregon, kind of near the airport over there, and then picked up this load I've got now in Washougal, Washington, which was just across the river into Washington State, and just a little bit west off of Highway 14. Instead of going back around through Portland on I-84, decided to stay on this Highway 14. It's kind of a cool looking road. This is also the Lewis and Clark Trail. which I think is kind of funny because, you know, the only reason it was called that is because it was years and years ago and it was two white guys. Really, Sacagawea is the reason they found where they were going to. So it should have been called the Sacagawea Trail. Or let's just name it Sacagawea and a couple of white dudes. That'd be a better, more realistic name for it, don't you think? Anyway, so I thought I'd show some dash cam of this because it's a pretty cool looking roadway. Then I got to take this bridge up here, the Bridge of the Gods. And so that sounds kind of interesting. We'll see what that looks like. Just want to also say, if it weren't for Sacagawea, you know, the Indian princess gal, Lewis and Clark would have been bear food. They would have been breakfast for a bear somewhere along the way. They wouldn't have found their way. Come on. So, you know, let's give Sacagawea the credit she deserves. Alright, thought we'd go back to the regular speed as we go across this bridge. I don't know when it was built, but it's obviously an old bridge. It's very narrow. The lanes are just wide enough for my truck to go across. And the speed limit is only 15 miles an hour across this thing. You can see it's a cantilever-style bridge, which means most of the girders and everything are on the top section. They're not below it like most bridges of today are built. This is an older style. And the roadway is kind of a grid mesh pattern. It's not a real solid roadway underneath. It's hard to tell by looking at this video. It's very high up too. Hard to tell that too from looking at the video, but look on either side, left or right, and that river is way, way down below the Columbia River as we're going across this bridge, and you can see that mountain in the background. Just some kind of cool video, I thought. Then as we cross the other side, this is a toll bridge, even as old as it is. And so I'm coming up to the toll booth now and gotta pay my toll. I had no idea what it was gonna be. There's no easy pass on this one. You gotta pay cash, baby. And it wasn't until I got up to the booth and parked and rolled my window down, they held up a little sign that said $15. And that's what it costs to go across that thing. On the other side of the bridge, you whip down and around, and as we come down here, you're going to see a good view of the bridge that I just went across. So let's do some slow-mo and zoom in. There it is. Pretty cool looking bridge. And you'll see we slowly turn to the right, and you'll get a little bit more of a view of the thing. Now that we've just crossed back into Oregon from Washington State, we're whipping through this little town of Cascade Locks. And then, of course, there's going to be a way station. It's actually right off of I-84, but the way we came across, they're going to make us go through it, too. So coming up, I just saw a sign that said, way station open. And so I'm going, all right, well, where is this way station? Well, it's just as we cross underneath I-84, we go to the right. We could turn to the left and avoid it if you want to risk being chased down by the copies. But I decided to be a good boy and follow the rules. So we're going to go through the way station here. Alright, there we are, going under I-84. We've got to turn to the right for the way station. Alright, so we're going to go into this. That truck was coming out of it the other way. And you got to cross the path there. And there is an entrance for trucks on I-84 going eastbound. This is the way I had to go since I came off of that Highway 14. And now I have to go past the parking area here and the inspection area and back around into the actual way station itself. You gotta watch the traffic merging in from the left that's coming off of I-84 into the way station right there. And we pull up to the scale house, all right? See all those numbers to the left? That's so they can check your axle length on your trailer. As I'm rolling by, they're writing down the number of my truck, the name of the company I lease my truck to, and all that information so they can record it down so they can show that I went through there at such a date and such a time, blah, 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 and showing I'm a good boy. And on that left there was the sign that would have told me maybe to go park if they needed to do an inspection, but I was able to keep going, and here we go as we now left the way station, and now we're going back across and taking the on-ramp onto I-84. So yes, I got the green light going through there. I was a good boy, and now I got to keep on trucking. Just past a cop, had somebody pulled over, and it just dawned on me, something you never see. Why don't you ever see cops broke down on the side of the road? I just think that's kind of weird. Why don't you ever see that? They gotta break down sometime, don't they? In all these years of driving out here, I don't think I've ever seen that. I just think that's kind of curious. So, and for those of you not truckers, you've got to see a way station too. So why not? You know, try to give you a little bit of everything and educate you as well as give you some information. So, yes, with Clutch Trucker, you get edutainment. Did we just coin a phrase there, Rusty? Hey, thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like if you want to. Please comment. I do get to your comments. Sometimes it takes a day or two because I'm a working truck driver. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out.